Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Javier with The Real Javier Novoa, a platform, a channel, and a modality where we apply the principles of spirituality, philosophy, and mysticism to rapid lifestyle transformation. I just got back into Dallas, and I am so excited, ladies and gentlemen. I'm full of energy, even though I hardly slept yesterday. And the reason I'm so full of energy, ladies and gentlemen, is because we have attained a milestone here at JN Consulting due to the platform of the channel. And that is, we actually have been consulting a small business in San Antonio. And we're going to be releasing more details over the next weeks and months. In fact, the case study that we talked about in the beginning of our channel, and that we are going to be releasing on Facebook and on the website, which we're developing, is related to that business, ladies and gentlemen. And this is an exciting milestone because, see, before this I had consulted businesses. But, of course, I always brought to bear these philosophical and mystical principles, but I didn't make them explicit because perhaps some of the people that I consulted would think I were bonkers and they would not take the steps that we guided them to. But this business that I'm consulting, we have consciously brought on the material that we are going to be exposing here in the next days and weeks. The curriculum and the material, the consulting material that's based on not only theory of constraints, but an understanding of philosophy, spirituality, and mysticism consciously. So the business owner was conscious of all of these principles and that our modality is based on all of these principles as opposed to simply just having those principles in the background. We're consciously applying these tools, ladies and gentlemen, and this quarter, we've just gone over the results. We have had some massive results over the last month by applying these modalities. Of course, like I said, as we get further permission and as we go further into this, we are going to be actually laying this out as a case study and what we'll be going into for future consulting and so on. So, ladies and gentlemen, this platform and this modality is taking off. It's very exciting, and I'm very excited what the next weeks and months are bringing. I'm developing a platform. We're developing a website. We're developing alternative means of communication so that we're not going to be depending on the prison grid. Rather, we're going to be directly communicating with our audience in more expansive ways. Stay tuned for more of that. So, this all feeds in just to a little bit of what I wanted to discuss tonight. And I just got here and I'm getting settled in, but I wanted to, of course, have a discussion of value with you. And that is, you see, the whole purpose of our channel and our modality, whether we do business together or not. If you do business together, or if you go into some of our coaching calls or consulting, you're going to see your life take off in shorter time periods than you thought possible. But whether or not we do that, just by watching the videos, just by participating in this modality in whatever form, whether it be the written material or videos and so on and so forth, what we're going to teach you to do is open that part of yourself that was lost during your childhood and after your childhood. You see, because as Jesus was reported to have said in the biblical scriptures, you cannot enter the kingdom of heaven unless you become again as a child. And we know from science that children until 5 or 7 years old, their brain waves are emitting this state of theta, which, as physics tells us, this is basically the state of hypnosis. And it's also the state in which we cannot distinguish between dreams and reality and between imagination and reality. Even a little bit after that age, depending on the individual, we used our imagination as a matter of course. We used play, our hearts were open, and our right brains were open. Then, of course, the modality of the state-controlled education system and the prison grid came in and suppressed all that, said, no, you're not to use your feelings or your imagination. You're only to go into the physical You're only to utilize the left brain logic and so on. You're to focus on what we want you to focus on, and you're to just, do menial tasks and so on and so forth. So for many of us, that was the last time that we actually used our imagination naturally. And we were actually given the tools of getting into state, or we have the tools, rather, inherently, of getting into state. But that is our natural human condition, ladies and gentlemen. Only education took that out of us. And as one of the great authors of American history said, that I did have an education, now I'm trying to recover from it, or something to that effect. So, what we're here to do on this channel is to bring you back to that modality of being a child, to release your inner child. Because in the adult world, of course, we see what a mess we're making of things. You've seen the adult look, right? It's sort of this kind of look. Well, that's the adult look, and you'll see it, especially if you work with the public and so on and so forth, and everyone on TV and movies looks like that. This is the kind of look that says, you know what, my imagination is shut off, I'm simply living as a materialist, I'm living on the physical, and I just have to make it happen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the information that I'm gathering now from the business that we're consulting, we have measurable results, ladies and gentlemen. That's the key here. We have measurable results that say that getting into that mode of the inner child, getting into that mode of the world of imagination and the world of play, actually gets you to the results that you're seeking through your left brain much quicker, much simpler, and with almost no stress and absolutely no effort. In fact, the only effort that you make is the effort to stop yourself from taking effort, ladies and gentlemen. We have measurable results. Of course, these results are going to be measured in accounting and in monetary terms. There are other great researchers like Dr. Joe Dispenza and others who are bringing these measurements to the scientific world and to the world of health. But across the board, all fields in this awakening, and I hope that we're playing a small part in this awakening, but a significant part. We're going to be playing this part in transforming your personal lifestyle and, by extension, business. We're bringing measurements that are going to satisfy the logical mind, that are going to satisfy consciousness, that are going to satisfy, science, and that are going to basically put the challenge to you that if you're not implementing this modality and this methodology, you are illogical, ladies and gentlemen. Once you have the measurements, once we present to you the numbers and tell you exactly how we got there as a simple process, if you don't implement this process, well, that's your choice, but you're actually being irrational. Because at the end of the day, there's no duality anyway between the left brain, right brain, or rationality or irrationality, or extra rationality. It's simply introduced by the dichotomy that we ourselves have self-imposed. So, we have the measurements, we have the numbers. Of course, people in the know have known this stuff for years, ladies and gentlemen. I was watching a documentary last week about the CIA and the military. These are all declassified documents. You can go on the CIA's website and see these documents. Ladies and gentlemen, they trained people in remote viewing. So remote viewing is where they would send certain individuals to a building, and they would have someone like an artist or someone like this is the person who started this program, and they would basically tell them, draw the location that these two people are at. And of course they wouldn't know the location. And he actually drew a model of where they were at that was basically 98% comparable to the location which they were at. And of course the CIA and the military actually developed a program to train anyone in remote viewing. Of course, the people who pioneered it supposedly had psychic abilities and so on and so forth, but they proved that you don't need psychic abilities, because when you tap into the subconscious, and this is a word of one of the CIA directors of this program, he said everyone is psychic when they tap into their subconscious, because the subconscious is psychic. So government has known this and utilized this for years. The great men of wealth, even if they say that they don't know this, ladies and gentlemen, you can bet your bottom dollar that they know this and apply it. They have to know this. These secrets have been taught through the secret societies since ancient Egypt, since Babylon, and since Atlantis. They've been taught and passed down. It's only now through the proliferation of information that it's being exposed to the entire world. And it is our birthright, ladies and gentlemen. See, certain individuals have tried to hoard it as theirs, but it is our birthright, ladies and gentlemen. So these faculties have been measured. They are scientifically accurate to a T. All you have to do is follow the formula, ladies and gentlemen. And we're presenting you this formula on this channel based on years of study and experience that we're actually applying in real life and in actual business to get measurable results. So the whole thing about remote viewing, well, when you see your future by getting into the state of that, you are remote viewing, ladies and gentlemen, because there is no time. When you imagine your desire fulfilled, and I mean not only viewing, but using all the senses, the sense of hearing, the sense of touch, the sense of just feeling what's around you, and what we call in this channel context, ladies and gentlemen, you are remote viewing. And while I haven't formally studied the process of remote viewing, we don't need it here on this channel because you can do it immediately by going to the state of your wish fulfilled. And as we said, we now have measurable evidence that we're going to be releasing over the next weeks and months that prove that this applies to business and that this applies to rapid lifestyle transformation. So, please stay tuned to the channel. This weekend, I'm going to be releasing more videos on specific applications of this to your life. Not only to business, although you will want to have a business, but we're going to go straight to the end. What do you want in your life? How do you want to live? Where do you want to live? Well, we're going to be giving you techniques, practices, and a roadmap to get there. Of course, in my coaching calls, I will take you by the hand through this methodology. I will consult you for that hour or whatever the package is that we agree on. I will be at your disposal to give you measurable results, ladies and gentlemen, just like we're doing for this gentleman who owns a small business in San Antonio. So, thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I will put my email down in the description so you can schedule a coaching call with me and we can explore this together. So please subscribe and like to our channel because we are on the cutting edge. I'm very excited, and our goal is to get this information out to as many people as possible so that we can teach as many people as possible to create exactly the lives that they want and to have their energy free to make their lives better and to make the lives of others better. Because when you apply this methodology, ladies and gentlemen, the result is love and the result is giving, and there is no force because you realize you don't need to control any circumstances. And that leads to great freedom for greater numbers of people. So thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. This is Javier, and with great love and appreciation, I'll see you tomorrow.